Superman and Lois, episode 5, the best of Smallville. That's right, folks. I believe after this episode is when they do the big hiatus so Supergirl can come back. Is that right? There might be one more, but I think this is the last one, and then they're coming back in May. It's a long wait, but hey, you went out on a high note, I gotta say. It's the Harvest Festival. Smallville is getting ready for the Harvest Festival. You know, like a big deal for everybody that grows up in Smallville. It's like the coolest thing in the world, and Clark's getting really excited about it, which I just love to see a happy Superman. You know, we can do like the dark brooding with Superman, people like that for some reason, but just to see a Clark Kent who's like excited to do stuff, he's like telling his kids like, we're gonna eat all this cool chocolate bacon, we're gonna go like have fun on these things, it's gonna be so cool. He's so happy and so excited about it. I think that's really great. It's really fun to see a Clark Kent who's genuinely excited about the stuff in his world, and really cool to see that energy. And you know, as things are going on, there's like some tensions rising in the family. One of the things that we see early on in this episode is that Jonathan's girlfriend Eliza was going to come down to visit them that week, but it looks like she's breaking up with him, probably because he moved away. And you know, kids that age, they don't do long distance. And it sucks, man. Like, Jonathan so far has been a really good character where you are seeing him just like, I'm putting this aside for my brother, I'm doing this for my family, I'm doing this for everyone but me. And now you're seeing the repercussions of pushing everything aside and letting everybody else be happy. He doesn't play football as regularly as he wants, he doesn't have friends like Jordan is making friends, and now his girlfriend of a year has dumped him, and now he's all alone in Smallville again. And you really feel that this town is wearing on him, and I like that a lot, because we spent a lot of time building up Jordan as like the superpowered one, as like the kid who's going through a lot more, that you'd really stop focus and just see that maybe Jonathan's the one we should be worried about now, because he's gonna have more things to deal with. I liked that a lot. It was a really cool story for Jonathan. It ends in some satisfying moments. I love seeing it. The way he gets into a fight with Clark saying like, I don't want to be here. This place is my kryptonite. Every time I'm coming to Smallville, every time we're here, everything we do here is against me. I don't want to be here. He wants to leave, go live with his friends in Metropolis. And maybe he should. It'd probably be the better off for it. And we see later when he goes to the Harvest Fest with Jordan and Sarah that he's drinking. So a couple buddies. I like that he says he doesn't have any friends, but he clearly knows these guys well enough where he's drinking with them. So they're drinking. Like, they just have some booze. This 14-year-old's getting sloshed, boys. Is sloshed a thing that they say other than Canada? I don't know. Like, we say sloshed here. I don't know. I haven't said that in a long time, but that's what he's doing. Because that scene where you just see like him going to hang out with his friends and drink from a flask, I don't know why, that just reminded me of some of the hockey kids we see here in Canada. I just really liked that. Very good stuff. And he's just pissed off at the world, and I really like that energy. I really like his story. It was great to see that, him and Clark having their tensions and it coming to a head, because throughout the episode we are seeing the way Clark was doing the same kind of thing against his mom, and we see flashbacks to a young Clark who is very scrawny. And he's like, I can't stay here. Like, I have so much anger and confusion in the world. I need to go. And again, this is something that we haven't really seen in a Superman story. So the thing is, like, he's wearing a ski mask to go stop some criminals from stealing some stuff. He's so frustrated and trying to figure out what he wants to do and who he wants to become, that he's doing these different things. And Martha's like, I get it, son. You can't stay here. I'm not going to force you to stay here. All I ask is that you do what's right for you and you do right by the people in the world, which is such a great thing to see. So Clark doesn't stay in Smallville. This is the idea where he wants Jonathan to stay because he left, because he wasted that time he could have had with his mother to find himself, but he wants Jonathan to have that thing that he never did. A great idea for Superman. Like, that is such a strong idea, because this Clark, I think something we haven't really seen on like television or on film before, is that this Clark is really, really vulnerable when it comes to like his human side. He is making mistakes, he is making the flaws, and a lot of that comes from the way he handled things with his mom and how he's handling things with his kids. I really liked that. Tyler Hoechlin did great this episode. Knocked it out of the park. He had like the right giddy energy every time he needed to have it. Everything he did was really cool. The Lois stuff is great, so we get some more resolution with like the Morgan Edge stuff. Basically, Sharon Powell, who we saw in the earlier episodes, her son comes back for some reason. We don't really know what it is, and we find out later that he has some weird power going on. So as we're getting like some gathering some like stuff to like sell at the Harvest Fest, he like shoots his laser eyes out and burns down the building, which Clark comes in to stop and uses freeze breath, which of course Kyle, being one of the firefighters, sees something off about the way everything just kind of turns to frost. By the way, I'm really liking the use of Kyle Cushing. Now, I think you are trying to make him a very unlikable guy, but I think this is like the syndrome that they had with Roy in The Office, and it's a weird comparison, but it's like, we want to see like Lana happy, and the fact that she's with this guy is going to tell us that she's not happy. But I really think Kyle's biggest flaw, the only flaw he has, is that he's not smart, and I don't like that being a flaw. It's just like he's not as like cool or powerful as Clark. He's just not like there together, but I'm sure he's had a tougher time, and I hope we see more stuff happen with Kyle. I'm really liking that character. I liked him a lot this episode. The stuff where he is just like, he comes home drunk because his friend like inhaled a lot of smoke and is probably never going to work at the fire's house again. What do they call those? The fireman off. He's never going to be a firefighter again. And basically he's just, he went home, he's drinking, and you know, Lana's pissed off at him, so she leaves, and Sarah's just like doesn't want to pop with him, but he's trying to actually genuinely connect to Sarah. Very good moment. Like, this guy, I get what you're doing with him. I hope it doesn't go in the direction that he becomes a complete asshole, but I honestly think he's a great representation of stuff that we needed from a small town, where it's like the small town values, the guy who doesn't like that maybe Clark's here or Lois is here doing these other things to kind of like change the status quo. I don't know. I don't have any problems with Kyle at this story, and I really like it. I'm liking his use. So yeah, Derek Powell, he's super powered. He's working with that girl. He's actually kissing that girl that we saw with Morgan Edge in the last episode. So there's like some love interest going on there. And we see that Superman finds their base, but only because that new reporter, I think her name is Chrissy, that one that Lois is working with at the Smallville Gazette, I believe her name is Chrissy, but she does some super sleuthing in a Lois Lane style and finds out where they're headed, which I really like. We're getting Lois Lane Jr. in here. I'm liking that a lot, especially since we're showing that Clark and Lois are older. They literally have teenage kids, so they're on the out. It's weird to say, but they're on the out, so the next generation's taken over to do the sleuthing. Very fun stuff. So she finds like the base where they're using like that weird kryptonite stuff that they found in the last episode to kind of like give Derek some power, which leads to a cool chase scene against him and Clark where they're like running, they're like flying through a bunch of stuff, figuring out what's going on there. It looked really cool. I really like the idea that Clark is just putting out all the fires he causes. It's so cool. It is so Superman. It's like classic Golden Age where it's like fire, ice, stopping the fire. It's so cute and fun. I really liked seeing that. That suit looks amazing that they have for Superman. I really dig it. It's great stuff. Also like here, the Captain or General Luthor is back. He's trying to figure out where Superman is. He's doing a pretty good job of tracking. He does actually talk to Lois, and he's starting to have some weird connection there. We see at the end of the episode that from his Earth that this Captain Luthor was married to that version of Lois Lane. He was married to a Lois Lane, and he's really upset that this version of Lois is married to somebody else. I thought he was going to know that Kal-El, Superman, and Clark are all the same people, but it looks like he's not there yet. Cool. I thought that was a great way to set up the tension for another reason for him to hate Clark going down the road. That's very fun to see. The Derek Powell stuff was great. He eventually does die, which you're like, whoa, okay. I wasn't expecting that, but works for me, man. I thought that was a pretty satisfying ending for that character. For the most part, it worked for what they were setting up, which was pretty fun to see. I'm liking it a lot. Man, this show just continues to impress me. It does something completely original and unique and very fun. And I think it's just really satisfying. It's going in different directions than I think people were expecting, because it doesn't feel like your standard CW show. You know, where I say that, I mean, like, do you know how like everything in CW is kind of formulaic, where we have to go plot beat, plot beat, plot beat? This one's kind of like, we're not going to do the action. You guys know what Superman is. We're focusing on the relationship with the kids. Jonathan is having some problems. Jordan's kind of going on his first date, and when he's there, we see that him and Sarah are kind of like having a good time. Jonathan comes up and berates them and makes fun of them a little bit, which causes Sarah to kind of lash out against him. Great. Man, that actress playing Sarah, she's doing a phenomenal job, because I really buy that she just doesn't give a shit. I mean, sometimes it comes across as like you're trying too hard to obviously be like depressing or like emo or something, but I believe this girl doesn't care, which I really like, and I think it's a great thing. especially playing off the actor playing Jordan, who's very much just like trying to figure out if he does care or not, which is it's such a great balance between the two. I really like their chemistry and their relationship. The end of the episode, they decide to just be friends, which kind of sucks, but that means both of our Kent boys are single by the end of this episode, which leads me to think at some point down the line, we're going to see potentially a love triangle. I'm going to assume with a new character. Who is another person in like the lore of Superman that could potentially have like a younger kid that one of the Kents could get with? I don't imagine it'd be Jimmy Olsen. Pete Ross could potentially have a daughter if they wanted to go down that route. Bibbo, maybe Bibbo's finally gonna show up. He's gonna have like a daughter or something. That would be awesome. Really fun stuff. I really like this. So yeah, Jordan and Sarah are just going to be friends, which we kind of thought coming. I thought it was going to be like the Kent and the Lang got together in the later generation, but this is fine too. I think that works great. So, you know, we're getting our information on Morgan Edge. We're figuring out what they're doing with this kryptonite. It's kind of fun and exciting. But one of the key elements of this episode was the Best of Smallville. That is the title. And we see that Lana and Lois work together to dedicate a park bench in like the middle of the town for Clark's mom. And we see that Martha was the best of Smallville. We want to honor her in this way. And then our last flashback to a young Clark, we see him finally leaving Smallville and saying goodbye to his mom, where he never fully returned to Smallville. That was the part that made me go, wow, he never really come back. I was thinking, because we don't specify if he went to Metropolis, so I was thinking, are they going to go the route of Frank Miller and we're going to have Clark join the military? I wouldn't be surprised. It makes sense to me. He's got a relationship with Sam Lane. That could be how he meets Lois, but we know he meets Lois through the Daily Planet, which is very fun stuff. I like that. It was very cool to see. And we do end on the teaser that Tag, is the name Tag? I think it's Tag. Yeah, Tag is back. The kid from the last episode, I was going to say issue, he's back. He's coming for Jordan. He wants to know what's wrong with him. And it looks like we're going to set up that Jordan's going to have some tension with Tag, which is very fun. A great episode. It's really fun to get back into this world. These characters are all great and fantastical and interesting. I loved seeing this. I loved being a part of this. I cannot wait to see more of this. If it comes back in May, we will be back then to talk about the show. But until then, thank you guys so much for watching this episode and review. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. As always, you can check me out on Instagram, Patreon, Twitter, all that good stuff, and I will catch you in the next one. Have fun, stay safe, good luck.